I was absolutely bricking it. I can't lie to you.
Do you know what? You was like an annoying little brother, I'm not going to lie.
When you get on that show, how can you make it different from what you've already watched?
I was bricks. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear.
I bumped into you. I was on my way to get a McDonald's. I think you were on the way back.
Hello! I'm alright, are you?
There's no way I'd be able to live with my life if I couldn't get a slinky on my head.
Welcome back again. We've got another contestant from 99 to Beat. Introduce yourself to the viewers of this podcast.
Hello, I'm Miles, contestant number 38 from the Circle. I'm a designer from Northwest London, and that's 3D and brand design. And this is me. Oh,
How did you find the show then? You turned up at the Hilton Hotel. Everyone's there. What were you thinking?
I turned up. First things first, I was thrown because I looked at all the names on the table and I saw your name there, and I was mad confused because I was really confused. I've got the two envelopes, and I said to the girl that was shepherded us all in, I was like, "So, what's this all about?" And they said, "No, that's another contestant." I was like, "What are the chances of that?" So I just came in. I came in with the attitude that I was just gonna take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Take it as it comes.
It was a proper interesting time, wasn't it? I mean, the vast difference in everyone that were there. There were so many characters. It was just mad.
Well, it was quite overwhelming at first, wasn't it? Because it was like literally all walks of life, all ages. Luckily, I'm quite as you are yourself. I can talk with anyone, sort of thing. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna make my way around, see who I can speak to, and see how it goes. But yeah, it was really daunting, wasn't it? Especially when we didn't know whether the people were a contestant or whether they just happened to be staying in the hotel or not.
Yeah, there's some people. I thought, like that bus driver. I thought Kingsley is that.
Yeah,
wore his work uniform. So I thought he was the taxi driver or something, and he'd just come in for a quick pint or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have a clue. And then
it was actually so weird.
Who did you end up chatting with and getting on with?
Well, I'll tell you what it was in the end, because when I'll take a step back, because when we arrived, when I got the training, because some people drove, didn't they? And some people got the training. Yeah. I got the training, and I jumped in a taxi. So waiting for the same taxi was Mia. Yeah. So we were kind of sheepishly standing around. I didn't want to approach her because I thought she'd think I was trying it on or something. Do you know what I mean? We're standing there with our little suitcases, and we didn't say anything to each other. Then obviously the taxi driver pulls up. Then we start the conversation. We're like, "Oh my God, you're in the game show too." So from that point, we had the whole taxi journey into the hotel chatting.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like, "Listen, I'll meet you back down in the lobby. We'll have a chat." Rare.
Yeah.
So by the time I come back down, a few more people were there. So I kind of gravitated towards kind of her and Libby and Huss and Duval and all those guys, because they were kind of together, of in the same space. And so that was kind of where I ended up.
I feel like everyone from the same areas kind of gravitate. I feel like all the London ones got on. Obviously, I was chatting to Kieran and Sue and all the ones that
the Midlands sort of. Yeah, yeah. But I think it's because we were chucked in with 100 people. You needed to find some kind of common ground, I guess.
Yeah. No, definitely. It was funny when on the first night at the Hilton, I could hear everyone chatting away, and then I just heard Sue go, "Yeah, right, my name's," in a proper I thought I thought I was back in Bury,
Yeah, she's got no it's full Lancashire accent, isn't it?
Proper,
I loved it.
Proper Northern Burnley kind of. So obviously the first day, then you turned up at the studio with the first challenge. I keep asking everyone about the first challenge, but I think it was the funniest one. How did you go about that? Because I just sprinted into the centre of that.
So that was my strategy going in, right? I thought that's what I'm going to do. And the only way I can explain it retrospectively is like, my mind went blank. Like literally, when we put the goggles on, my strategy was like, B of the bang, I'm going to sprint into the middle. And I felt like I was going to be there waiting for the balls to drop.
Yeah.
That was my, yeah. And I was like, oh, no, where they are. Anyway, stuck the blindfold on, the klaxon went, and I just caught myself just listening to it. It was just, meh. And then I heard the balls drop, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be under that. So then my strategy completely flipped, and I started crab walking in. I was like, I'll just make myself as big and wide as possible, and something will come bouncing my way, and I'll touch it, and then I'll be able to feel it out.
Yeah.
And it worked. So I did that, and I had 3 balls straight away.
Really?
And I was like, right. I was like, get rid of them 2. I've got this one. Boom. And so it kind of worked out for the best in the end. But my strategy went absolute down the toilet straight away.
I saw you got a close up on the straw. Food one.
Yeah. So on that one, I had 2 strategies at play, right? So the one where they got the picture of me, the close-up, I'm staring right away across the circle. And that was after I changed strategy because I was watching the ball. The more I was watching it, the more it was moving, the more I was like panicking about what am I doing with my jaw? Are my teeth touching it? Remember all that. So I thought, stop looking at it. Look at the person over. So I was looking at Jason over the other side of the circle, thinking he's going to, because Jason can't keep himself still. I was thinking he's going first, right? So I was just looking at him. I was thinking, all you got to do is stay still longer than he can. And then obviously Caroline's next to me. Buff, it goes, and I was like, oh, job's a good one.
No, yeah, that one, to be fair, that was probably one of the ones that I felt least confident in because it was like one mishap and you're out. It's not, if you sneeze or something.
Yeah. And even like I was breathing, you're trying to control your breath, right? So I was like breathing and I don't know, like the angle of my head, like all my air's coming out and it's rattling this ball, right? So I'm thinking, okay, let's not do that. Let's hold your breath. So I held my breath for a bit and then it was like, because I thought it would be over quickly. I can't hold my breath any longer. Yeah. I'm going to have to do a big like inhale sort of thing. And just as I was kind of gearing up for that, like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do it gently. Caroline dropped her ball and I was like, got away with that one.
I was pretty relieved when that ball went down. I could hear it going across. Yeah. And then what else? What was the next? What was the one after that?
We had the can, the Fanta, whatever.
That's pretty easy.
I was all over that. I didn't even have any qualms about that whatsoever. What else was in that first episode? We had I've gone blank now.
Llamas we did. I know that was the second one.
Yeah, that's the next one. Yeah. No, we had what was it in the first one? Oh, frozen t-shirt.
Frozen t-shirt, yeah. What about how did you find that?
Do you know what? I decided to employ like brute strength on that one.
Yeah.
So you can't even, you could see me obviously when we watched it back, because when I was watching it live, I couldn't even see myself. Because basically what I decided to do was just like brute force it in half, just like a sandwich. Then brute force it the other way, like a quarters. Yeah. I fold it into quarters, that's going to loosen off some of the ice.
Yeah.
Then I stuck my fingers in the gap and then I just stood up with it. Just used my entire body strength to just pull the thing apart. And then I was out in the first like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, I kept took my time with that one. You see on the camera actually, it kind of pans around on the episode. I'm just kind of undoing it, looking around, thinking, no, because it is in the game, don't come last. It's not. If you start rushing about and whatever, but what I thought, because they were proper compact, empty. It wasn't like in a block of ice you could break. It was just, I don't know how they did it.
It was just so sealed, yeah. It
was like it was put in concrete or something.
I think, I was thinking about this since, and I was like, I feel like they must have just like either like literally drenched them so they were like fully, and then folded them, and then folded them and like weighted them down because they were so flat.
Yeah.
Stuck them in the freezer like that because I was like, oh, how do they do that? And then maybe put some paper between them or something, like just stack them on top of each other so the weight makes them really flat.
Yeah.
But I did think my strategy was boss, because that process that I did, it literally puckered up the material. So the material was like around the collar bit, it was just raised up in the middle. I was like, oh yeah, I can get my fingers in there. And
well, the collar, I did it from the arms and the bottom and the collar and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that was the easiest bit. But so what did you? I had a lot of, obviously I've interviewed quite a lot of people. A load of people found it after they got back home that they couldn't adapt to normal life. Did you feel like you'd just gone into some world that you couldn't?
100%. It was so weird, wasn't it? I don't know if you felt the same. I was like well, immediately once I came out, I went on a holiday like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So I went to Spain. So I was like in Spain, kind of trying to process, but I was getting flashbacks like none other, right, about everything.
Yeah.
and then once I got back from that, I was still just kind of like in no man's land. Like, did that happen? Like, it was just so surreal. And I think like the rush of being around so many people that were like up for stuff, like game for stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you in your day-to-day life, like you come across you've got a few mates that will be down for stuff or like, you know, up for challenges or like having a bit of banter or something. But it was like to have that many people that are in one place that like bounce off that energy.
Yeah.
Was so addictive. I was like, why can't we all just be like this all the time?
No, it was. Obviously, again, I've spoke to you a few times, didn't I? But you can't actually speak. You can't speak to 100 people in that time.
Nah. Some of people, it's just, you know, you're all there and you're having a good time and it's like, hi, you know, but yeah, you can't get deep and meaningful with everyone.
So is it the first thing you've applied for, the first show you've been on?
So, do you know what? The joke of it is I didn't even apply for this show.
Really?
I applied I got onto it because it's the same production team that do Traitors.
Right.
And I applied to Traitors and got onto that. Then the executives made a rejig and binned me out. So they were like, oh, really sorry, you're no longer in it. Yeah. But there's this other game show that we're doing, and you might be interested in that. They told me about it. I was like, that sounds wicked. They're like, right, we'll put you in. So I was coming at it like from a different perspective, if you know what I mean? I was like, oh, you know, in for a penny, I'm like, it's cool. I'll just do it because I had the time. I'd kind of mapped out my own time.
Yeah.
It was about a similar time, and obviously because I run my own company, I was like, look, I've kind of earmarked that I'm not doing any projects in this time anyway, so why not just kind of extend my holiday, you know, push that along, and I'll just have a bigger holiday, and the front end of it will be playing all these games.
Yeah. So let's go into that then. What is it you do? What do you do on a day-to-day?
So I run a brand strategy and experience agency. So like we design brands for small businesses and like charities and stuff. And then, so like that might be the logo or how that brand shows up in the world.
Yeah.
And ultimately how that shows up in a physical space, because my background is commercial interior design. So like I design like flagship stores for brands. So, you know, think of like Niketown and Primark and H&M and all these like high street brands. I design like the concept for them and like how their store looks and how their photography is taken and how, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go from, let me take a step back. I used to do that for much bigger businesses. I used to be the creative director of an agency that wasn't my own. Then I got fed up of making so much money for all these big multinationals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? Like, I'm going to start my own agency. And this is like a few years ago now, but I'm going to start my own agency and we're going to deal with solopreneurs, like think Dragon's Den. Yeah, you know when people go on Dragon's Den and they've got a brand new product and it's branded and it's got a whole like art direction and a strategy as to like how they're going to bring themselves to market and all of that stuff. I come up with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds so. What I was going to say, what led you to that? Obviously, you went into it, and how long have you done it for?
Well, this is the thing that throws everyone because I'm older than I look. So I was working in the industry for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm in my 40s now,
Yeah.
and my company's been going for about 3.5 years.
Nice.
So a good 17 years heading up other people's businesses and stuff.
And what do you want to do with it? Do you want to expand as much as you can, or are you happy with the way it's going?
Oh well, I'd obviously like to expand the business and make sure that I can help as many people as possible. But it's one of these things where I feel like in this modern era, people have got a lot of strings to their bows, and it's not necessarily a job for life anymore, is it? It's like whatever comes my way. Like I'm still young, I can still do whatever. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I wasn't necessarily using this platform as a vehicle to like further my career, as it were.
Yeah.
But if it does, then great. If not, I quite like the idea of myself being like a creative figure in the world because, like I say, I do quite a lot of other things. They're all creative led. A lot of people talk to me about like, the way I dress and all that sort of thing. So, maybe that might be a little splinter that manifests itself, like styling because I essentially style people's brands for them, if you want to boil it down.
Yeah.
They come to me with like this thing and I'm like, that looks not great. We need to reshape it and look at how we can present that for the market you're trying to attract.
Yeah.
So they might say, "Oh, I'm really after like Gen Zers," and I'll come with my insight and be like, "Well, they only like looking at things like this, this, and this. So you need to start moving in that direction, visually."
So is it just you, or have you got people employed? Or?
Yeah, so I've got so what the business runs basically through freelancers. So depending on the scale of the business or how like interested in the business, how interested in the project I am, I might just jump on it myself. Or what usually I'll do is kind of assemble a team to do it because it might be a big beast, in terms of the scale of the project. So, I'll have graphic designers, interior designers to jump onto it to do visualizations or to create the output that the client's looking for. So it's kind of like on a case by case basis. I have a studio in Northwest London, in the Park Royal area. So what we do is like, I don't know, like John Lewis might come to us. Actually, that's a bad example because I don't like working with the big boys so much now, right? So it might be like a small spaghetti producer comes to us, right? And we might say, and they might be after a brand, like a new refresh, right? They're called, I don't know, Auntie something spaghetti, right? And we're like, well, the name's fine. Let's repackage you and let's make it look sharper or like more modern for like a new audience, right? Because you want to be on the shelves of, they might say, we want to be on the shelves of Waitrose. At the moment, we can't get out of our box in Nonna's back room. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. So then we say, right, if you want to be on the shelves in Waitrose, you need to be operating on this level. Okay. So then we'll do like a bit of brand strategy around like where they want to position themselves, how they want to talk, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll come up with a new brand, a new logo, and like the colors and how that all does itself. And then we might say, right, for launch, you need to do a big launch experience, and it's going to look like this, and it's going to have red drapes, and it's going to be blah, 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 blah. And you're going to have a giant meatball over there, and it's gonna be, there's gonna be an Instagram moment over there, blah blah blah, and we'll design it and visualize it for them, so they can look at it and be like, oh wow, they can imagine it.
Yeah.
And then the next stage on is that we will then pass that to one of our production partners. So we've got teams of people that can build stuff, and then they'll make it happen in real life.
Yeah. No, it sounds mega interesting, that, to be honest. It's quite a good insight into... Because obviously all these brands have logos. They have things that go on, like now in the modern day, they've got Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff that's happening. And there's clearly a lot more behind all this, and that's what you kind of do, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. And it's one of those things where people don't necessarily, as soon as you start thinking about it, you go, oh yeah. But unless you start thinking about it, you're like, someone had to come up with it in the first place.
Yeah.
And every day we all interact with products. We've all got an Apple phone in our hand, and well, we don't all have Apple. You know what I mean? We've all got a product, and somebody had designed that Apple, and somebody owns, as in like the rules of how you use it and how far away it can be next to another logo and all of these things. So we put all that in place for people.
Yeah, no, it is mega interesting. So, yeah, going back to the show, say you, what challenge was it you went out on?
Pancakes.
Yeah, I remember that. I nearly messed up. I thought I was going out on that. What happened with it?
Mate, it was, I mean, you know how it was in terms of team selection, right? It was completely random, right? But each time you got a team, you're thinking, God, I don't know what this challenge is going to be. And hopefully, I got through a few team challenges, I think two team challenges beforehand, right? And each time when I was in the team, I was like a bit unsure, like, if this is anything to do with, quietly in your head, you're like, if this is anything to do with this thing, we're fucked. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on it, sorry. You'll edit it out. You know what I mean? Like, and you're thinking, so anyway, we got the team, and I thought to myself, because I've done two before, I thought, don't make any judgments, Miles. We could smash this because we don't know what it is, right? But going into it, obviously, in our team, we had quite a few people with like issues, right? So when they announced the game to us, that was when mentally I was like, oh no, because somebody had like a phobia of having things being thrown at them, right? So that was one thing. We had, some people with some physical difficulties. Then we had somebody who was like too scared to go in any position. We were like, listen, there's no opt out. You have to be in one of the positions. So can you, do it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? So that was a nightmare. So we were holding it together just to even get on the starting line in the first place. Then nobody wanted to start. I had to change. We'd all come to a disagreement on where we were going to be in the pecking order. Then at the last minutes, the person that was meant to be starting the challenge was like, "Oh, I can't start this. I don't want to do it." So I had to swap with them, right? So that just threw it all out of sync. So I was at the beginning loading them up off of the pile, and it was challenging. So we kept getting it right down to the bottom third, and then they just drop it in the same location every time.
It was mad. It was mental. That. I remember it came down to the bottom. I was pretty near to the bottom, and I don't know if it was my fault, but it went on the floor near me twice. So I was thinking, but I didn't panic at it. I thought I knew we'd be all right. I wasn't thinking out like I was on the
gutter ball one,
because we went out to the final team on that.
Yeah, that was nerve-wracking, man. That whole episode, that whole thing, because I'd actually forgotten when watching it back that it did you know, the two losing teams had to go head to head because I went through in the first round, so I forgot that was even a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, oh my god, I forgot about that. So no, the pancake. Oh my god, man, I was fuming. Like, I'm a bad loser at the best of times, right? But when it's not in my control.
Yeah.
Because that's what got me. Because it was like, how many? Because obviously I was starting off, and I know that I've put like 30 of these things down the line, right? And they've got to, you know, I can't remember if it's 12 or 13 of us, but it's got to like number 9 every time. And you're like, guys, can you do something down there? Because all I can do is keep giving you these, and it's not doing my nothing. So when we actually went out on that, I was like livid. I couldn't even like communicate. I was like, that wasn't my fault. So
did you do the interviews about it afterwards?
They didn't interview me about anything. Really upset me as well.
Oh. What about
even when we?
So go on.
I was going to say, even when we did our, you know, some people got an exit interview as a group. They didn't even do that. Yeah.
You might
so
stop at any time.
No. So I was feeling quite hard done by, to be honest, when I actually went out. I was like, I didn't even get to like do any little VT bits or like.
Yeah, no, it was interesting, to be fair, to see, because obviously you are quite a big personality. You'd think you will be back. So, but again, like you said, there was 100 personalities. So how do you get to them all? It's a funny one. Did you do the volleyball challenge?
Yeah.
Did you touch the ball at any point? Or did you just...
No. And that was the strategy though, because I don't know whose team. I can't remember where you were in the pegging order of it or whatever.
We literally hit it over. It came back and went out. So I literally didn't touch the ball.
Yeah. So you were on the same team as me in the first when it was the 32 versus 32.
Yeah.
And all the big lads on. Yeah. All the big lads on the other side, and Bella and was on the. And I said to I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, they're full of testosterone. They're just gonna whack it. Let's just leave it. So when they whacked it, and Derek was over, we were like, leave it. And it just went out. It's like, yes.
Yeah, no, it was interesting, that one. It was interesting. I kind of wish, if I knew I wasn't going to go out, I wish I could have gone down to like the final few. It'd be quite fun.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. It's like, in retrospect, most of it is like, you might have done it differently, or like if you didn't have the pressure of going out, you would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I didn't. I feel like, and also I feel like I made a mistake because my mentality is like, just get it done. Like you said in the t-shirt one, you're like, well, I just have to not be last. But my mentality is like, win it. Right? So loads of times I just did it straight away. I was like in the top straight away.
Yeah. And
I shouldn't have done that, because now with the benefit of hindsight, if I'd have been in the lower, lower down, they would have filmed me more.
I think that,
Excuse me. Some of them I was just like, Marshall,
Yeah.
I think, I should have just, if it was that easy for me, I could have just waited a bit.
Yeah, I did think that, to be fair. I thought it the other night when I watched it. What was your favourite one then, overall? What was the most enjoyable challenge?
I think for me, the most enjoyable one was which is going to be in the next episode, was the duct tape.
Yeah, that was cool. How did you go about that?
Without to blow my own horn, I genius level bossed that, right? I'll tell you what I did. Obviously you remember it as a table or whatever.
Yeah.
I stuck a little bit of I peeled the duct tape, I stuck it on the edge of the table, turned it so the sticky side was up.
Yeah.
So turned it like that, sticky side up, and then I just spooled it round the table,
Oh, really? Like
Right?
around the corner of the table?
Yeah, around the edge, just on one along the edge of it, around one strip. So my logic was, because obviously I'm taking quite a lot with each rotation, I'm going round it real quick.
Yeah.
So I went bang, 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 got it all off, and then because I turned the sticky up, it wasn't stuck to the table, so it just came off in one neat band.
Yeah.
I just slid it off, folded it in two, folded it again, just put it in the box.
Yes, so the stickiness was up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it wasn't stuck to it. I get what you mean now, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, and it stuck to itself. I just went boom, boom, shut out, Marshall, boom, let's go.
Yeah, it was funny, that one. I just kind of just wrapped it around my hand, but not fully, just kind of there, you know, half hanging off me knuckles, just there, and then I just put it in. Yeah. But then I looked up, and then I've obviously gone back to the back, and there's people like, there's tape hanging off pieces and things and wrapped around the chairs, and just
doing it was carnage, wasn't it? I just thought, I saw people like Ashton like tearing off little pieces, and I thought, what are you going to do? What are you doing, mate?
You went out on that one?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't go out on that.
Out?
Oh, who went out on that one? I want to say it was.
Was it Jeff?
Who was it? It was somebody that had no. It was because there was like little bits of tape around the leg. Remember? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so I remember, I think Paul O kicked off because someone accused him of it being on a little bit of tape being on his tape.
Stuff, yeah.
So I can't quite remember who went out on the tape one.
No, that Paul O, I remember thinking he was called Paolo because he.
Yeah,
because
the O was too close. Yeah, and because he was Scottish, and I don't know. Do you remember that Paolo Nutini guy who was Scottish? That's what I was thinking.
No, I remember thinking that, but it was. But I mean, I'm trying to think next week's challenges. There's some more, isn't there? There was the llama one.
Llama one, yeah, that's going to be the tape measure.
I just look the tape measure as well. Yeah. I
was fighting for my life in that one, man. That one was really frustrating.
I didn't go through immediately on that, and I thought, this ain't good.
Yeah, and I felt like I was going to go through immediately. So the shock of not going through early, really threw me. Because I thought, I'll be able to judge that. No,
I came up with some strategy, mate, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I think I was looking at the obviously there's two lines. I think I looked at the end one. As soon as it hit that, I clicked it. Because I think what most people were doing was waiting until it was in the lines, because that point was already through.
Yeah. I kept actually stopping it short of the lines completely. In panic. So because I kept panicking, like I don't know what it was. I had to have a word with myself because I was thinking, I know what I want to do. And my body keeps just pressing it.
Yeah. And then I thought that. I was pressing it too soon.
And what was really upsetting me as well was like they took so long to reset it.
Yeah, so you were like...
So like in the reset, I'm thinking, oh my God, like freaking out.
I get, because that's another one. It's like you can't weigh up the amount of time. It's like if everyone else does it on the next go, you're done.
Yeah. And because it was like 20 people through. And it could be one person, it could be 20 people, you don't know. So I think I went through after about 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think mine was 4 or something.
So it was dicey, and if you were there, man. So you felt it once it got to about 4. Yeah. It was like, this needs to happen like now.
I remember Kieran's a carpenter, isn't he? And he was.
I ripped him for that, right?
Yeah. No, well, it's mega interesting, and it's good to speak to people. Obviously, a lot of these I've done before the show's been aired, so it's kind of we don't really know what's going to happen. But seeing that first episode was just, and I'm so excited for the next one.
Oh yeah, me too. Really am. I just can't believe how much, because I was trying to break it down to obviously my friends and family and everyone. I was saying, do you understand? I was like, you understand that was two 12-hour days of filming
Oh yeah.
that they've squashed into 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And like the sheer amount of stuff that they cut out was wild to me, because like I had the fear ever since filming. I had the fear that they were gonna look at me or like focus on me in the slinky, because bruv, I was going through it, man. I went through I'm not flexible at all. So I was rolling around on the floor. I was licking the floor, trying to get it in my mouth, doing the most. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, before it got down to like Dylan and Janet or whatever, there was like Dexter struggling, you know, another person really struggling. And we were there for like 10 minutes trying to like coach them through it and then going off to someone else, because you're clearly not going to get it, mate.
It must have been over half an hour, that challenge.
Yeah. And obviously they've only shown a minute.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
No, it's
I was also a little bit disappointed about, you know, all our exits when we all left.
Yeah.
You think about how much bigger that was when we each did it.
Yeah.
Like they've just trotted you out. Like it's like, oh, goodbye from.
Yeah,
what?
I feel like as it gets, obviously as the show gets on, there's less people, so
there
was like 90 odd people to cater to in most of that.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really. I don't think you could. I think as it gets to because obviously they've got to fill.
Yeah.
All that time, haven't they? So I think as it gets further along, you will get a lot more. I think you'll get shown. I think you never did an interview, did you? So
I never did an interview, so we'll see. I think the one bit that I didn't, which wasn't an interview, but it was like, you know, where they just do you get to make a comment after you've just won.
Right,
yeah. I won the nail one.
Yeah.
So I think they asked me like, "I think you did in that," and I said, "I think I nailed it." That was it. I think that's all I said. You know. So
do you think to round it all off?
Yeah.
I've asked this question to a few people. I think it's quite an interesting question. Do you think there'll be heroes and villains in this as it goes on? And if so, you've got to say who.
I do think that there's going to be heroes and villains. My prediction on that, because I've got a little bit of insight, but I'm obviously not giving anything away, as in I don't have any insight, but you know, like after the fact, I think that they're gonna make a story about, or a hero villain kind of thing about Libby and and Courtney.
Yeah, why?
Because I think they fell out in one of the games or something, and I think it like continued. Do you know what I mean? Like all the rivals, because obviously I think, you know, the twins were, you know, in the production team's eyes from the off. I think that obviously they lost one component because Georgia was on my team for the pancakes.
Oh, really?
So she went out with me.
All right.
So I think like they've got that twin thing going on, and then now this has got this person of interest, right?
Yeah.
Who does she fall out with? She falls out with Libby.
That's interesting. It is definitely.
Well, you know, that's just a unique, like a different view on it.
Yeah. No, well, I just hope it obviously goes big and all that kind of thing. There's been a little bit of bad press, hasn't there, on like Twitter and stuff. So I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, but I have, but I think Twitter's like the wrong forum for it, like, because as in obviously everywhere, people on Twitter are just angry, aren't they? Especially after Mr. Musk has like lifted all of the sanctions. But like, I feel like most of the other platforms, there's either a mixed bag or it's positive.
I've not looked in fairness. I looked on X, but I didn't really look at. I've not looked at anything else, to be honest. But
I just want it as big as possible.
Yeah, I think that of the general consensus is that I mean, who cares about Facebook? But Facebook is like mixed.
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok are all positive.
Really?
So like everyone's like, love this. And what I think that is because like people that are more engaged with those visual platforms, it's like a visual spectacle, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
It's visually engaging.
Yeah, it's
like,
definitely.
So I feel like that's got people's attention. They're like, oh my God, like the amount of like funny comments that I've seen on those platforms.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It is mega interesting, and obviously we don't know yet because there's another 7 episodes. But I appreciate you coming on. Good luck with your
My pleasure, man.
And are you going to that reunion?
I'm not going to the South one, but I'm gonna go to it. I just couldn't make it work with dates and that. But
yeah,
I will definitely. Even we did an impromptu one up in Manchester. I didn't know you were up in Manchester. We probably would have got involved, mate.
I saw that. Yeah.
So like I will, and I'm fully up for like meeting up with everyone and doing what we can do, whatever we do going forward. So I'm sure we will definitely cross our paths again, man.
Yeah, no, we'll do it at some point. But I appreciate it. Honestly, it's been great to chat to you. And
you, mate. All the best.
And talk just about your stuff. Then let me know. Just give me a call.
Nice one, man. All the best, mate.
Nice
Watching from afar, man. I'm loving everything you're doing at the moment as well. It's just giving me pure jokes, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm trying. I've got a bit more to come yet this year. So, well, a lot more. So it'll all be out.
Wonderful. Nice one, man. Keep plugging on.